Drum roll, please. I don't know how to make a good drum roll. Welcome back to the Devlog series. This is Devlog number 5. As you can see here, welcome back. Glad you're here. Sorry that I did not upload one last week. I was a little busy, and I watched a lot of YouTube. I sat and ate Twizzlers, so I really could have made one. I should have made one, but I didn't make one. So today we're going to be going over 2 weeks worth of content. 2 weeks. Hopefully it's going to be worth it. We'll see. Let's get into it. Now, if you're familiar with these devlogs, you will know we don't really go over the bugs we worked on in the previous weeks, just because they're bugs for me, not necessarily for you, and so I don't think anyone would really be interested in hearing about the bugs that they're not currently experiencing, so we're not going to go over the bugs, we're not going to mention the bugs. All we're going to do is starting here from the bottom purple one, because as you can see here in the little legend thing, you got the changes, the feature additions, the bugs, and the new features. So we're doing everything that's not marked in green. Starting with the first one, which is updating the card graphics. Now, this is kind of a weird one, because I redesigned the redesign, and then went back on that redesign with a new redesign that is almost kind of more similar to the original design. I will show you really quick. So this is what the old cards used to look like. They were just very bright and I don't know, very not great. They were so-so. So then I was like, well, what if I redesign them and kind of make them slate or stone looky? And so I did. And they were fine. They weren't great. They weren't great. I liked the redesign. I'm glad that it didn't have that same old look to it, but just not what I was going for. And so I went back to the more classic card look, and this is what we've got now. So still probably going to rework it, but you know, it's got like little tears on all the little sides here and there that are different on every single one. And I don't know, these little the faces for the king, queen, and the jack, they're not set in stone or anything like that, but I don't know, I needed something. So yeah, that's the card redesign. Next up on the list of changes was making it so that your save throw, if you roll a nat 1, you do not get your dex mod applied. For an example, in the game, when you're in combat, you have the chance to run away, to leave combat. And if you do that, it pulls up a dex saving throw box where you roll a d20. And if you roll over the monster's armor class, so each of the monsters have their armor class here, 14, as long as you roll over their armor class, you can leave. We also made it so that, you know, if you have also your you also have your dexterity modifier, and so whatever you roll, it then adds your modifier to that, so hopefully you will have a higher chance of running away if you have a high dexterity modifier. Right now I just set mine to 20 so I can run from everyone. It makes testing a lot easier, but we also made it so that if you roll a nat 1, it's an absolute critical fail, and you should not get your dexterity modifier, so it doesn't matter how great it is, you will not ever be able to run from anyone if you roll a nat 1. So that's what all that is about. Next up, we reworked the level selection screen. The old level select screen looked a little something like this, which made a little bit more sense when we were using sigils to like teleport around the dungeon. So basically you stepped into this teleportation sigil thing and it would bring you into this weird trippy looking thing, whatever's going on here. But we kind of moved away from the sigil teleporting you from room to room or floor to floor, and so we had to rework this whole level select screen, because as much as I love this trippy animation, and it is very trippy, I wanted something a little bit more not so trippy. So we have now made it to where the exit is just a flight of stairs that you will go down. Not 100% set on that one, but it's closer to what we want. So when you find the set of stairs, you can go down, and we might make it so that there has to be like a key or a switch or something like that you have to find, but we'll get to that eventually. For now, let's show the actual reworked level select screen. So you'd select proceed, you go down the stairs, and now you have a few doors. It is very bare bones. We will probably redesign again how this looks, but this kind of gets the idea across where it's like you kind of choose between one of, I don't know, 2 or 3, maybe 4 doors, and it kind of gives you an idea of like what's behind, you know, so your gut tells you vast wealth lays ahead of you, increased item spawns. Warm crackling fire can be heard from within. Rest inside, it's safe. Or you hear the rumblings of many monsters beyond the door, increased monster spawns. So you kind of pick whichever way you're kind of wanting to go. Do you need to rest? Do you need to sell and buy some dice? Do you need to rework your spells and all that stuff? Or are you good to head on in and fight some monsters? Hopefully this will be a good way to do it, but again, we'll probably rework some of the visuals, maybe even rework a little bit of how it works, but this should get us closer to where we're wanting to be for the level select screen. The next thing we were working on, which was to finally finish up this task, which was redoing the entire tomb scene, was making the trap spawns work. In the game, different rooms will have different things. Some have monsters, some have items. Most of them have little decorations like this torch, or you've seen the other things like the vines and the cracked bricks and stuff like that. But the other thing that the rooms will have are traps. So right now we've just got one type of trap, and that is spikes that come up from the floor, right? But I wanted a way to make it so that you could get out of these traps with a certain thing, like a puzzle or something like that. So the whole trap spawns things, you come up here to the room, there's some spikes on the floor, and it pulls up a random puzzle. Right now I've only got 2 puzzles, so this one's like a little whack-a-mole game. So you just hit the buttons as quickly as possible until the timer goes all the way up, and then you're good to go. If it goes all the way down, then you get hit by the traps. The other trap puzzle is this little glyph thing, so when you line them up, it gets you through it. But again, if not, spikes go off, you get hit, and yeah, so those are working, so we can now officially say, if I close this and come back over here, we can now officially say that the redoing the entire trap scene is done. We've got the trap spawns, we've got everything else that I used to have before I started redoing the entire trap scene or the entire tomb scene, forgive me, because yeah, we had to redo the whole thing because it was just an absolute buggy mess. It was absolutely terrible, and this was finally the last thing where we got back to the point where we were before, and it is now better and more efficient than it was, and yeah, it works great, so happy days there. So all of that was for the previous week, right? All of this right here. Doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it was quite a bit of work. Plus, there was a lot of bugs that I worked on. But again, not going to talk about the bugs, not going to mention the bugs. So going forward after that, so this was the next week, so last week, we worked on a few things. One of the first things was capping the quest goals. So in the game, you have quests that you can go through, you can accept those, and they're things like exploring rooms, killing monsters, and stuff like that. They're very bare bones, generic cookie cutter quests right now, but eventually they will be better quests. But for now, so I needed to make it so that if you say, your quest was explore 30 rooms, once you explored 30 rooms, it needed to stop counting and all good. So went in, made it so that it actually caps that, so you can't go above that. The next thing was making it so you could draw an 8th card. And to give you a visual representation, I apologize again that the cards are not great looking right now, but general idea. You are playing Blackjack, you are drawing cards, and I have to hand code every card so I can set positions and all that stuff so that every single time you draw, it moves the other cards, brings in that card. When I draw again, it moves all the other cards, brings in a new card, so on and so forth. So since I have to manually set all of those up, I do like one at a time every now and then, because it's not that long of a process, but it's a tedious process. So like once every now and then, I'll add an 8th card. So right now I've got 4, now I've got 5, 6, 7, and then I made it so you can draw an 8th card. The next thing was creating the exit system. So this kind of had to do with reworking the level select screen, and that was changing the whole sigil room and all that stuff so that it was actually a staircase. And I know you already saw it before in the devlog, but there you go. There's the staircase. That's what it looks like. I am in no means or way a pixel artist at all, so I know some people are going to look at that and be like, that is absolutely horrible, and I would agree wholeheartely with you. I feel a little bit better about it now that I've had some time to sit on it, but yeah, still I look at it and I'm like, but again, we may change it a little bit. This is the placeholder. This is what we've got for now. If it works and if it's there by the end, then it's there by the end. If not, we'll replace it with something else that's hopefully even better. Now, the next thing that we worked on was probably the biggest and one of the more complicated things that I've worked on, aside from the random gen. That one was ridiculously over my head, but we got it working. Creating a main menu that has a save and load system. I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but let me show you what it entails. So if you remember, this is what the old loading screen used to look like. You could choose your character, right? Nothing that crazy. You just kind of choose. That's right. I forgot. I deleted the other 10 characters. There's only 10 now. And then you go to the dungeon. But I was like, we need to get an actual main menu system in here. We need to fix that. So if I come over here to main menu and we set my position over here, you will see, there we go. We've got a main menu. Is it fancy? No. It is exactly what I want? No. But does it get the job done? Sometimes. So anyway, most of this, well, I guess 2 of the buttons work. So no. All the buttons work. 2 of them are actually useful though. Aside from the exit button, you can click exit and it exits the game. That was pretty easy. That was a very easy thing to do. But then you got options. There's nothing in here yet. You can click all these other things and nothing happens. But eventually we will be adding options. Now the thing that we do want to talk about, and I just realized that there is a problem right now, so I need to come in here. There we go. We got the main menu. So when you click new game, you can select your save slot. You got empty, fantastic. And then if we click on the empty slot, you got this person, you got your play model. Again, nothing is set in stone here. This is very bare bones. I was just getting the stuff in place. You can choose your person, whatever. You can name your person, so you're a player, or you could be Jack. You're Jack. And you hit next. And there you go. It's now created your save slot. This is the intro text. Take all of this with a grain of salt. All of this stuff, if you were here for the live stream, you know that we were just going over the bullet points. So this is just kind of like to give you a general idea of kind of what the story line is of Tomb of Vercillias. I'm going to be trying to make it about this long, but better written. So anyway, it'll then show you kind of it'll give you like a story dump, right? Just kind of let you know, this is what's going on. This is why you're here. And there you go. And then it loads the dungeon and you're good to go. And you can start traveling and picking up dice and all that fun stuff. And that's great. But let's say, for example, let's come back over here to the main menu. Let's say you wanted to have more than one character, because originally that was all you could have. You could have one character and that's all there was. But after so much work and effort, we got it to the point where come to new game. And right now it still just says save file 1. We will be changing that so it actually shows probably the name you set and I don't know, maybe like the level you are or the amount of gold you have, progress you've made, something like that to make it a little bit more, of like just, oh, this isn't just your player name, it's also what you have been doing or where you are, all that stuff. Anyway, so you can then come in here, create a new character, and you can have multiple saves. So I have it just at 3 right now. I may make it so that there's more than that. I just have to hard code them, which kind of takes a little bit of time. But anyway, so you finally have new save files, multiple save files. I don't know why I couldn't figure out how to say that in my head. Anyway, so now you have multiple save files. Fantastic. And you can come back over here and you can continue game. And you got your save file right there. And you can click on that. And there you go. It takes you to the dungeon. Anyway, so yeah, I know, again, like I said, it sure doesn't seem like much, but there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into it. RPG Maker does not make it easy to just make buttons on the screen that do things. But anyway, so that is everything we worked on. I feel like I am rambling now, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what you enjoyed. If you're interested in watching any of this development process live, I do a live stream every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8 p.m. to a little after midnight Mountain Standard Time. So if you're interested, feel free to join us. If not, if you prefer devlogs, then I will keep uploading more devlogs. I will try not to do every other week devlogs anymore. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll just feel like watching YouTube and eating Twizzlers next week like I did this past week, so yeah. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen again, and hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're not, all that good stuff. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you all on the live stream, and if I don't, I'll see you all in the comment section, and if I don't, I am glad you're here, and I will hope that you have a great life. So, goodbye.